Hello everybody, welcome. It is Friday. Hope everyone had an awesome day today. It's Rod with Power Group. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes. We'll give it a few minutes for people to jump on and join us. So just sit tight and we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started here in just about a minute. All right, welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, everybody. It is Friday, March 19th. It's Rod with Power Group, and we're going to jump right into it. In today's video, we're going to just go over some basic news. There wasn't a whole lot to go over in terms of news today, and then we'll look at the broader market and some overall individual tickers. So before we jump in, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. It shows me some support. So Powell says the Fed is committed to using all its tools to promote the recovery, and you can check out that full article, but pretty much a non-event yesterday. Visa shares fall after report of Department of Justice is probing possible anti-competitive debit card practices. So stock was down and negative reaction to that headline with good reason. Taking a look at the crypto space, we are selling off a little bit here, and we saw a sell-off into the end of the day in the overall broader market. So should we be worried? We'll be discussing that. There's a possibility that we could be losing steam here and starting to see a little bit of red flags out there, which we'll go over here in just a moment. But pretty much all crypto pulling back to a certain degree here, and we need to be cautious of daily lower highs. And if we lose the low here at 53,221 on Bitcoin on Coinbase, we could set a daily downtrend, which would be a significant momentum shift. So we're watching that daily chart very, very closely. And here's the SPY chart. So SPY had its dividend today, so we needed to be watching the SPX or the futures chart, and we needed to be watching that for levels as the numbers were a bit skewed today in SPY. But taking a look at the end of the day here, we were looking for an hourly lower high. I mentioned in our group that I was scouting hourly lower highs after being in a daily, in an hourly downtrend. We were extended here and we were hourly oversold, and I was scouting entries going long. And then here, when we approached EMA 12, I was scouting those hourly higher lows and consolidation into the end of the day. And we ended up setting that lower high after losing the 5-minute uptrend. And that gave us that clue. And then the most likely scenario is that we likely consolidated into the end of the day, and I posted about an hour before the close that that's what I was looking to do, and it ended up playing really, really well. I was shorting at 391 and covered at the end of the day at 389, just under 390 at 389. I think it was 389.70s. So that played out well, swinging quite a bit of SPY short and the tech sector short as well. And I've got some MJ, mostly MJ for my longs, but I have some other miscellaneous ones as well, like Uber, Tap, a few other companies. But primarily MJ is my focus at the moment. So we're looking at potential hourly downtrend continuation going into next week. We had increasing bear volume, but it wasn't a huge amount of volume today. We didn't have the exact amount of volume even as yesterday, so we did taper off a little bit, but we're still up near the 20-day average volume. So that's a bit concerning. If we see further weakness next week and increasing bear volume and a potential gap down setup, we have a lack of support here. We have the 50-day moving average which we'll be watching. And we had the weekly candle close, and we closed red on the week, but no weekly consolidation yet. A lot of names are consolidating on the weekly. The dollar is in a weekly uptrend, and it's consolidating. We had the low at 91.36. We hit 91.30, and we could be bouncing off EMA 12 here, so we need to be cautious in stocks and in crypto, in my opinion, because of the fact that the dollar is now in a weekly uptrend, the first time since over a year ago. And we have a lack of resistance up until about the 94s. And we could see a bull cross of these EMAs on the weekly. We are consolidating on the weekly time frame. SPY is yet to consolidate. On the monthly, we're still in a monthly downtrend, so we still have a lot of proving to do on the dollar, but it definitely has our attention. And closed the week out green, closed above EMA 26, it looks like. Well, we still got 2 hours, 25 minutes, so a lot can happen, I guess, in that time frame. So 91.85 is the level to close over. And then we'll be looking to break resistance at 92.50 into next week to see continuation. So QQQ and SMH, the semiconductor ETF, has been really, really weak. So QQQ closed the week red and could be setting weekly lower highs. SMH, same deal. So we need to be cautious of weekly downtrends going into next week. The tech sector has been leading the entire bull market, and if we saw weekly downtrends confirm next week, if we break the lows here at 297.45, that's going to be a huge, 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 huge red flag, short term and long term. And if that happens, we need to keep in the back of our heads that the tech sector led the market in the entire way up since last year, and if we see a weekly downtrend, that could be prolonged months. That could lead to monthly consolidation, and we could be in a tight situation and an interesting situation if that were to occur. And if we see weakness in the financial sector has been holding the market while the tech sector and SMH have been weak. You can see we have a higher low every single candle here for the last 8 weeks, it looks like, and bounced off EMA 12. So one would think that we're likely going to come down at some point. The question is that money going to rotate into the tech sector, or are we going to see significant pullback in the overall broader market? And I'm starting to think that we could see weakness all at the same time, as everything is quite extended and showing some red flags. Like I said, we would not want to see weekly downtrends confirm if you are a bull in the market. If you're a bear, then like I said, you're potentially going short. And I'm adding to that short position here for that possibility, just hedging long-term positions. And oil was up over 3% today, so nice bounce there off EMA 12 on the weekly. So we'll see if we can get some bounce follow through into next week. Still got about an hour and 20 minutes left there. And gold and silver are potential weekly bear flags, so we need to be cautious there. But gold is in a daily uptrend, and now it's just a daily inside bar that we're watching on silver and gold. But gold is still in a daily uptrend. And if we break the highs here at 1755, we'll see daily continuation. XBI, the biotech sector, was up over 3% today, so decent bounce, but still a daily inside bar. XLE saw further daily consolidation even with the strength in oil, so that was notable. And the financial sector saw weakness today, increasing bear volume, notable, and straight off a new high into a new low, losing daily support here at 33.94. A bit of a red flag for me. And take a look at the healthcare sector on the weekly. This could give us a clue as well, guys and gals, that the overall broader market, theme could be weekly downtrends, as we went from new all-time highs on the healthcare sector. So keep in mind that we just ran from the lows a year ago, March of 2020, we ran 63% and hit an all-time high. Coming off an all-time high into a weekly lower high and lower low, we're now in a weekly downtrend. Is this our weekly lower high being set, or are we about to set that weekly lower high? That is the most likely scenario. And if that happens on the healthcare sector, what's going to happen on the rest of these sectors? So obviously, healthcare is weaker than a lot of the other sectors. That doesn't mean that the other sectors are absolutely going to follow suit and confirm weekly downtrends. It just means that we need to be looking out for the possibility that that could potentially take effect into other sectors as well. And we need to keep in mind that it's just another clue that we can, put in the back of our memory, and hopefully, we can potentially make a profit off of it. So moving on to some individual tickers. So Tesla has a weekly inside bar, so we'll be watching that. We have a potential for another inside bar on the weekly to set up next week, and trying to form a base of support here off EMA 26. But we need to be cautious of also potential weekly downtrends being set on Tesla, which has also been leading this market higher, but monthly consolidation underway. We've yet to test EMA 12, which is down at $500, essentially $499.49, and then EMA 26 down at $337. So I'm interested for entries around those EMAs. I didn't purchase any yet, but I'm definitely interested. Fighting the FOMO on the way up and finally seeing monthly consolidation. But again, need to see weekly uptrends confirmed to be confident that the monthly higher lows are set. So on the bear list, we had CWEB, DDD, DFLY, JMIA. On the bull list, we had VEGA, OPK, NKLA, and BYND. BYND had a nice entry looking for a daily higher low. I mentioned this out this morning, so we had support at $1.2587. We had the high of the bounce here at 150.66. Topped out at EMA 26, and we knew the most likely scenario was a daily higher low, and here we are pulling back to about 132.90. You could have entered with a stop below 125.87, and not a bad entry there. We could have started to scale in. I know a couple people in our group were looking at entries in that, so congrats to any dip buyers there. Solid move, about $8 or so, with very low risk, just setting your stop below the low here at 132.90. And we ended up breaking the high of yesterday at 138.15. We had a high of 140.39. So even just playing on the break of the high of yesterday, solid couple dollars there. But didn't see any selling into the end of the day like SPY did, so that's notable. So we're pretty much going to end it there. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day on the West Coast. We've been seeing crazy swings in temperature. We saw -50 with the wind chill. I think it was close to -60 at one point, or it was definitely worse than -50. And then just yesterday, Calgary set records for this time of year, and I think they said it was at over 18 degrees. So from -52 degrees to plus 18 and something was absolutely mind-boggling. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. I don't see any questions in the chat, so we're pretty much going to leave it there. I wish everybody a happy and healthy weekend. Make sure to get some rest. I know it's been a crazy week. I'm looking forward to taking it easy and doing a little bit of work on some course stuff, but other than that, just going to take it easy, go outside, get in nature, take my mind off of things, get off the computer. So with that, thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth for a daily market recap, and we will see you fully energized and recharged next week. I'll also be doing another MJ video here shortly, so expect that momentarily. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you